One good way that I keep current with the literature is the social media. People often talk about social media and your benefits in terms of promoting yourself and sharing your own information, but social media is a great place to get information. So I follow all the key journals in my field on social media. I also follow lots of science journalists on social media. So that's a really good way to stay up to date with very little actual time investment. But I also use PubMed updates. So I'm set up so that I get regular updates for my keywords. I've spread them out because I've got kind of a few different little areas of interest. So you can set up on PubMed to get your alerts for what's been published with those keywords. But I've spread them out so I get a different one each week, and over the month it fills me with my kind of 4 main area of interest topics. So, and I don't always read those emails immediately, but those lists are there to prompt me and to remind me that I should be checking on what's happening in the field.
First of all, to be signing up to Google Scholar Alerts, where you can follow individual researchers. So when they do publish new research, you'll have access to that in your email inboxes. Others, you can sign up to news alerts from the top journals that you may want to follow and stay across the new research that's published there. And also in the business and management area, we have ELMAR, which is an electronic newsletter that sends out all of the table of contents for a lot of the management journals, so that you'll be receiving all those updates each month, which is a very handy resource to use.
Conferences are really helpful from that point of view. They give you a heads up of what people are working on, because then you can, often at the end of a presentation, people will say, this is coming out soon in this journal or it's just been published. So that's a really good way to be, in a very specific sense, to know what my colleague, what to keep an eye out for. Twitter's actually another place. I find a lot of, information on newly released papers on Twitter, and ResearchGate. I also follow ResearchGate as well. So when new publications come out for people that I'm following their research, I'll get a notification there. And then just, general searching, but that's probably more sporadic. I don't search every day for new literature, so I think it mostly comes up in my social media feeds, to be honest, in terms of what's coming up that's new.
And if you are on Twitter, and you're actively looking at Twitter, often really interesting and new research is tweeted by other people who are promoting their own research. So that's one way that I think I become aware of papers that I perhaps wouldn't otherwise. Otherwise, it's quite tricky, because it's like a mountain of literature that's emerging, on a daily basis almost. So I often will do a more specific, search for a particular topic. Again, as I said earlier, I'll look at the profiles of people who are publishing in that area that I know are experts in that area, and I'll search for them, or I'll search for the topic that I'm interested in. I do read some journals on a semi-regular basis, just at least scanning through the article titles. So Science and Nature, to see, I'll get emails, alerts when they publish new issues. And so then I can scan down the list of articles to see if there's something new that's come out in my field. So I get emails from those journals, which is, I think, probably the easiest way, really. But even those are often several weeks, if not months, past when the first version of those papers have been released. So often there'll be online versions that are released before the actual issue of the journal is released. And so it seems like it's new, but it's actually been available for weeks or months before it comes through your email address, if you've subscribed to a particular journal to get alerts for their latest papers. Yeah, so you really have to be on top of it by searching online, looking regularly for papers of interest. And amazingly, I do think that Twitter can be the most up-to-date, because people will tweet as soon as their paper's available. And so if you're following experts in your field, you'll see their lab groups will tweet as soon as something interesting has been published.